Well, I've been, hope you've been following the news. A lot of new government money, that's popping up in the news every day. Regina, how are ya? Melissa, hi, thanks for showing up. Yeah, I don't know if you watched the Trump thing yesterday. It was good. I mean, at first I thought, hey, at least he's doing something now. Before he was just, doing an infomercial. Now it looks like he's getting on track, and some of those people who really know their stuff behind him were pretty good. But I want to talk about money. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And take questions. We have time, and I'm on a few systems. But remember, Lesko help. If you remember Lesko help, I'll personally answer your questions afterwards if I don't get to them now. So just put them in the discussion, and I will answer them away. If you remember Lesko help, and I'm really shocked how well that seems to be going. I mean, really educating people more about all this, and that's what this money, on the Corona stuff is important, really, to educate everybody about how to use the
If you
government.
shop on Amazon, you should.
There's so much going on in the government and so much money that people don't realize. And the fat cats are all in town here figuring out how to use it all. So they're using it. And this is how I learned, by helping Fortune 500 companies. You see those big companies there that with Trump, I mean, they're going to make gazillions on this stuff, and see, the government has, I mean, there's two ways you as an individual can use government programs. One as, well, actually, there's three ways, I think. One is, individual direct payments. These are grants and direct payments that go directly to individuals. And there's a lot of that in the new, Corona programs. And so that's how it's done. Then there's free services that are available, from the government. I mean, whether it's getting your a virus shot, or getting free legal help, or all kinds of things, that is just so much that's available for free. And then there's contracts where you're a freelancer working out of your home, or whether you have a small business or a Fortune 500 company. I mean, the government buys more of anything than anybody else in the world. Now, all this stuff takes effort. I mean, there's no one magic. I mean, you listen to me or other hucksters, maybe it sounds like, all I have to do is give me money and you get money. No, it doesn't work that way. It's really learning the system. And it's not only learning the system the way it is, it's unlearning what you think it is. That's the biggest hurdle we have. In other words, like dating or something, we think we know women, but we don't. Or you think you know men, but you don't. So you have to almost, to get along with somebody, you have to unlearn your preconceived notions of what the other sex is. I mean, we all grew up with all preconceived notions of stuff. And the same way with the government, you have to unlearn all your preconceived notions of what the government is or how it works. Just because you saw it work one way one time, or somebody says that, it doesn't mean it works like that all the time. That's a good word. I think preconceived. VD. That's pretty good. I'm always looking for for new ways to say something, so that I can educate people about this. I mean, it's just a hell of a resource in our country. I mean, more than a third of everything in our country is government. And that's why all the fat cats figure out how to use it, and they tell you it's bad and you shouldn't use it, when they're using the hell out of it. And it's not for everything, it's not all the time, but it's really also to solve problems we have in this country. See, we have a problem now with this virus. So we're going to throw government money, so that means it's our money. See, it's not government money. This is you and I are supporting this with our tax dollars. So it's money coming from all of us that we decide, we vote elected officials to pass laws to spend this money. Okay, so it's all there. It's cooked in the books. And that's why I think it's really is capitalism evil? It can be, just like cars. Cars can be evil. It's just how we use everything. That's why when there. Uh, it's not really evil unless somebody uses it in evil ways, and people do. People use socialism as evil. People use cars for good. People use cars for bad. People use computers for good. People use computers for bad. I mean, everything can be a weapon. Anything that's a tool in our society, which is capitalism, it's a tool. And then people figure out how to use it also as a weapon. And you just have to be smart enough to how to plan around it, or at least realize that's a possibility. But I think the other thing it is that you realize that it may not be easy, and that's the most important thing, I think, because people give up before they start. And also another thing you have to unlearn is how to take advantage of it. The web is nice, but it really creates a lot of problems that it solves. So if you're looking for this virus money, the web is certainly an interesting place to start, but you can't stop there. It's really getting on the telephone. That's the best stuff. Like the stuff that is coming out today, and tomorrow and next week, they're going to give out more. Over 50 billion, $50 billion. They already gave out 8. They already gave out $8.5 billion. And this was passed last week. And this is going to pay, for healthcare problems, community health care, to pay for your doctor's bills, your co-pays. So, most of that money is to pay for that. The other part of that money too is for small businesses. So there's small business money in that too. So there's about $1 billion of that is going to the Small Business Administration. And with that $1 billion, they're going to lend out $20 billion. Okay. So that's, money for small businesses that are hurt by this economy. Okay. And it's hurt. I don't know. I live downtown Washington, D.C. It's pretty dead out there, and all the food is flying off the shelves. I mean, people overreact, and that's fine. I mean, but it's people are going to get hurt, right? So that's why a lot of this money is there. And then plus, see, to me, what's interesting about all this, not only are there new programs, it's a way to learn about existing programs. We already have money for small business in grants and loans and contracts and free services and stuff like that. It's already available. So that's why, to me, it's a way to educate people about these tools that are already there. Now, I don't want to, I mean, it's a valuable, you know, exercise to decide whether these are good programs or bad, but I'm not here to do that. Other people, we do that on Capitol Hill. What I'm trying to show you is things that already passed laws. Here's where they are. Here's where you look at them, and you decide if they're good or bad or not, or if they're good or bad for you or not. And that's what it is. I mean, to me, most people that are rich in this country, they don't care. If you got something that's free, man, I mean, they'll make billions of dollars. Like a lot of the, like to me, one of the biggest programs in business is small business loans for people want to buy franchises. Okay. Now what happens is, see, you have a franchise, you want to buy a franchise. So you to go some big franchise company, they tell you how to get money from the government to buy their franchise. You go out of business, they got your money, and you have to pay back the money. A lot of people don't. I mean, it's huge. And there's a big database that I used to have on my website of all the small businesses that failed and which are the most risky franchises to buy. And that data is all available. Who's got bad loans and had to pay back their loans when they went out of business. And what they do is usually default on the loans. So that happened. But the guy who had the franchise business, he's making billions of dollars because he already got his money. You're responsible. It's sort of like government loans. That's why for business, for college, what they have now is you borrow money to give to a college, and maybe you get a degree worthwhile, maybe you don't. They got the money, you flunk out of college, or you get a shitty job after college and have this loan, you have to pay back the loan, and they already got the money, they don't care. So that's why all these for-profit universities popped up. They saw that opportunity. They would spend 80 or 90% of the whole value of their, what they spend in their college, all on marketing. And they get 80-90% of their money from you borrowing money. Okay, so they're not generating on their own. So you go in debt, go to these nonprofits, they make a lot of money, and you get a lousy job and have a lot of debt. Okay, and so that's why that's how people use, and the rich people figure out how to use this. I mean, again, so to me, that's abusing the system. How do you find them? Missed it. Not sure what you mean by them, but okay, now all these platforms I'm on today, I'm going to give you a list of the websites I talk about, particularly here. Now, what's available in the new bill is, okay, first there's a $8 billion bill for, if you do coronavirus, $8 billion, you'll see that bill that is passed and where to get it. Okay, that's the first bill. The next is the one yesterday that Trump talked about. It's $50 billion. And that's because it's a national emergency. If he declares something that's a national emergency, he gets all this money. Now, your state government is doing the same thing. If your state, a lot of states are declaring this a national emergency, so they're getting a whole lot of dollars for this, in addition to the $50 billion. Okay, a lot of this is to solve problems that people have because of this virus, whether it's getting health care, paying for co-pays, or they're out of work, and all these kinds of issues. So what you have to do is find out where that is locally. See, even though the money comes from the federal government, you do not call the federal government. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but mostly not. And that's why you have to find out locally. And a little bit we'll go through the agencies at the local level that most likely hand that out. See, it's not filtered down through the system yet. It'll take a couple of weeks to do that. But I'll tell you where to find that at the end when we talk about the kind of money that's out there. So you got 8.5 billion, you got 50 billion, and now they're passing another billion. Nancy Pelosi and the White House agreed on another $1 billion for individuals that are hurt. And this is for people really to expand free testing, to provide food aid and sick leave and things like that. So, because, you're going to be out of work. It's like sick leave. You have to take, 2 weeks of quarantine or something like that. Then you can't be working, right? Or the business has no money because everybody's in quarantine and everything. So you're out. So that's why they're going to juice that up, and they're going to be a lot of money for those kinds of issues. Now that passed the House of Representatives by 363 to 40. So it's bipartisan. Now it has to go to the Senate. And it's maybe be added to there. We don't know yet. So you got to be careful of that. Okay, what's going to happen to that? But all these things, and the other thing what to do is on Trump's, particularly yesterday, he talks about how, you're going to be great, and there's going to be this website that you just put in your zip code, and in 2 minutes you'll find out where to get tested, and that'll be great. Now, by the end of the day, now Google was supposed to do that website. Now Google's saying, no, they're only doing that for California. That may be ready soon. And maybe it'll be, in the future for the rest of the country. And they're not really sure how. And that's why you can't rely on that. Particularly, I think this president, he talks about things, they sound good, but in practice, it's not very logical. And what happens, that local people have to be involved anyway. So don't worry so much about what's in the Washington happening. You can take clues that maybe what should be happening, but if it's really happening where you live, that's only if you get to the local level. And in a minute or two, in a few minutes, I'll tell you where to check for all these things in the local level. Okay. Oh, one thing that he mentioned yesterday, and it was passed yesterday separately, is no student loan. You don't have to pay interest on student loans. Okay, this is something new that he announced yesterday, and this is for everywhere. Now, let me read you if you put, here's how my new student loan plan works. Trump. If you Google that, here's how my new student loan plan works, and you're looking for a website from Forbes magazine. They have a nice listing of what this is. Okay, interest payments on your federal student loans will be waived temporarily. Okay, so federal student loans, no interest. You don't have to pay interest on federal student loans. Okay, you got that? Okay, now this applies to only federal student loans. They're private student loans that this does not affect. You will still have to pay interest on private student loans. Okay, now here's the third part. The interest waiver applies to student loans held by federal government agencies. Now, I don't know the details well enough to know what the hell that is. Therefore, it's possible that some federal student loans may not be eligible. So we have a group of federal student loans only, not from private sources, private student loans, only federal government student loans. And some of those aren't covered either. I don't know who it is, how it is, but there's a student loan ombudsman. If you put U.S. Department of Education Student Loan Ombudsman. This is a person, an office that's set up just to solve your problems with student loans. So that's one place to go. But let me go through the list. The waiver applies to interest only, not the principal. So if you own $100,000, maybe that's generating like $50 a month of interest. You don't have to pay that $50 in interest a month, but you still owe the $100,000. Now, I don't know how long that is, so you have to be careful. The interest waiver will be in effect until further notice. So they're saying they don't know how long it is either. So you won't have to pay interest for a while. So what's going to happen is that some of your monthly payment is going to go down a little bit, probably. You don't need to sign up for the interest waiver. The interest is expected to be waived automatically. So you're going to be waived automatically. So there's two things you could do. When I hear that, there's two things you could do. One, you call up your student loan person now, whoever you owe the money to, and ask them what it is and how you're going to get different, or you wait till your next bill and see if it's different. Now, I don't know if they send bills or whatever it is, but check to make sure, because otherwise you get screwed. And this is what happened with people on the forgiveness. 10 years later, they're getting screwed. Okay. You still need to pay your student loans interest waiver. Oh, you still need to pay your student loans. Okay. This is just interest. So if you own $100,000, that you're still going to owe that. The interest waiver does not mean no student loan payments. So if you were paying maybe $250 a month on your payments, now maybe it's only $200 because you don't have to pay the interest part. Okay. The interest waivers could start as early as 1 week from now. That's right. This is an article I'm reading yesterday. So in 1 week, that interest payment could be waived next week. The interest waivers could start in 1 week. Okay. Borrowers who are enrolled in, listen to this, income-driven repayment plans, such as IBR, PAYE, REPAYE, or ICR, for example, or forbearance of federal student loans are expected to be eligible. So I guess these are all funny. I don't know the details about that. So if you're in some kind of low payment plan, I guess, or something like that, you could find out. There is no indication of any interest limit So borrowers with high balance federal student loans potentially could save the most. So what they're saying there is, maybe you owe $500,000. It's still all the interest, it is going to be forgiven. So don't worry about that. Okay. Okay, so that's another thing. Okay, here's another thing that a judge yesterday blocked. Trump was trying to cut food stamps, and he had a law. He passed a law or wrote something that was going to stop food stamps from 700,000 people. A judge overturned that. So that's why you have to be careful when things happen. It goes through the system, and the system will fight back on somebody and things like that. So if you were part of that, and I don't know the details of what that was, but it's not happening. I think it was it made you work. So if you were getting food stamps and you weren't working at least 20 hours, you would lose your food stamps. And I don't know if that was immediately or whatever, but I think the judge said he couldn't do it. It's against the law. Okay. Okay, now here's an article I just saw today too, that Google says the national scale coronavirus site will not be available anytime soon, as Trump announced. So I don't know if you saw that thing. Trump came out with, or one of his experts behind him came out with this big show and tell sign on how it's going to be easy, from one website to find all this. And Google came out and said, no, Trump's wrong. There won't be one website for all this. And it sounded sort of nice yesterday, but no, it's not true. So that's why you always have to be careful. I mean, that's why if anybody says anything about government grants, me or anybody else, you really have to check yourself. You go to the office that's giving out the money. You don't trust me. You don't trust anybody on the internet that says you could do this or this is available or whatever, or you can't do this. See, it works both ways. People say it can be done, or very likely it could be wrong. People say it can be done. Very likely be wrong. So you just take that lead, take that, possibility or whatever the hell you got to work with, and check it out yourself. And until you check it out yourself, you can't take anything to the bank. There was I felt sorry for a woman who's a member of Lesko Help, and I was giving her a whole bunch of sources to get money to buy a house, grants that's available and everything. And she was getting turned down, and I gave her about 100 sources. I don't know how many she really turned, but she really got upset because she thought she could get it. I'm like, I never said that, but I think you can imply I said that by a lot of things I say. Sometimes, I don't have time to say why you can't get this money, or everybody does. All I know that hundreds of millions of people a year get it. And the government gives out over $22,000 to $26,000 per family every year. That's why you should fill out that census. You know why you should fill out that sentence? Because that means if you fill out that census, because that's how they distribute the money. All these programs are done by population. There's a big bunch of tax money, and then they give it to the states and the counties and everything. So how many people in your county is going to mean how much money your county is going to get. And so the average person will get like $25,000, $26,000 a year in that kind of money. And so if they have 10% less people, then you're going to get 10% less money than you should get. Yeah. So that's why that census, besides having how many, what do you call it? Elected officials used to have. That's what it also says. Okay, and then there's a lot of, particularly for testing, there's a lot of free payments now for testing. And again, the state, so your state, even though you hear that this doesn't happen, if I say this isn't available, that isn't available, that is, it doesn't matter. What you have to find out what's available where you are. There's some states that are much better than the federal government in providing help and services and free money and things like that. So a lot of it depends on where you are. There's just, the federal government is just part of the game. Now you have to figure out what's locally. Okay, now the other thing you want to know is where do you find all these? Okay, now this I will, I have three places. Facebook on my free news site, and then the club. You always could ask me questions there. I answer them personally all the time. And on YouTube, and I'll put a link on YouTube too in the discussion, or actually underneath the the description. I'll put a link to this report that shows 7 places you should check for money that is related to the coronavirus. Okay, here's where you want to go. Okay, number 1 is your county. Okay, right? County, this is your county, not country. County, like I live in Montgomery County, Maryland. Your county community development office, they're going to get some of this money. And not only will they get some of this money, they already have a bunch of money for these kind of problems. They already have a bunch of money to help you pay your bills or get out of debt and things like this. They already have all this stuff. So that's where you want to go, your county. So if you go to Google and just don't put, I want money or anything, no, don't put anything in there except the name of your county, like Montgomery County, your state, Maryland, and then community development. Look at that list. When that list comes out, only go look at the lists that have .gov at the end, not .com, maybe .org, but probably not. You want .gov. If they don't have .gov, forget it, because it's not a county, and you'll get wrapped up in some, the robots, the artificial intelligence is going to grab you by the neck, man. And won't let you go until they get some money from you. So you don't want to do that. Stay away from any .coms. Yeah. You're looking for DOG. Okay, so that's community development in your state. They have a lot. Okay, now the next place you want to go, because this is a health related thing, you want to go to your county health department, county. So now you put in the name of your county, say Montgomery County, Maryland, health department. Again, all you want to do is click on the things that have .gov at the end of it, .gov. Like for me, the county was, I can't even see it here, I'm sorry. But it's .gov at the end. You click. Now, what do you do when you click on these? You call. You want to fish around the website to get a little feel, okay. But no matter what information you get on the website, you call. If it looks like it has so much information, you call. If it looks like, hey, this is exactly what I need, I want to apply to that, no, you call anyway. If it looks like, hey, shit, there's nothing here for me. I knew Lesko was full of shit. Why? There's nothing here. You call, because that's where the good stuff is. You want to talk to somebody there, tell them what the problem you're going to solve. Don't call and say, hey, I want money, give me it. Where is it? No, that's a greedy son of a bitch, and nobody wants to help those people. You want to say, I have a health problem. Where can I get help? I have a problem. I'm not working. I need help. I need help with a financial problem or whatever it is. And listen and find out how you could use this to your advantage. Okay. Now the other thing, because let's say you're out of work or whatever, so something to use with jobs. This is the other place you do. You go to careeronestop.org. Career, CAREERONESTOP.org. Okay, now that's a national program from the government. See, it's .org, it's not .com, because it probably is just a nonprofit. Okay. But and then they have a search there to find your local office. They're in every county. You want to find your local office. Okay, you put in your zip code, and then you call them. These people help you get work. That's all they do. They do not charge. Remember that. They do not charge at all. So you're going to go to this website. You're going to find out where they are. are look at what they talk about, what they have and everything, look around a little bit. And again, you may see something. Hey, I want one of those. They give you $10,000 to train to do anything you want. And I want one. Okay. Or they don't have anything. Shit. No, I knew Lesko was wrong. No, doesn't matter. You call and say, hey, I have trouble with my job. I lost a job. I'm not making enough money or whatever. Who can I talk to? Can I come in and talk to somebody? It's all free. And then they have free money. They also know of other programs to give you money to live on and things like this. I mean, you want to start a business. A lot of states have special programs just for entrepreneurs that want to start a business. Okay, how would you know that? You wouldn't. Yeah, and they will know about this stuff. So you want to go there. Okay. Now, here's another thing, particularly, now they'll know about what any new money they got from the coronavirus grants and the current ones they have. See, this is why I think it's a wonderful opportunity. You'll find all the stuff they already have, because the virus grants are only like 50 or 60 billion dollars. They're already playing with 2.7 trillion dollars. Trillion, almost $3 trillion they already playing with, and so they just got 50 billion more, or 60 billion more. So that's why you're going to find out that too. Okay, here's the next one. America's SBDC. Okay, America's with an S at the end. Spell America with an S on the end, and then you put in another S, B as in boy, D as in dog, C as in Charlie, .org. Okay, this is a government subsidized office that gives you free consulting help to start or expand any business you have. So you want to know how to get some of that virus money because you're in financial trouble because you had to cut back and staff and your business is down and everything. They'll know about that. Plus, they're going to know about hundreds and dozens of other programs, okay, that are available for any kind of business, big and small. I used to use the hell out of these for my Fortune 500 clients, okay? So that's why you got to use them too, okay? That's what they're there for. And so that's America's SBDC.org, AMERICAS, then another SBDC.org. Okay. Now here's another website that's really cool. It's called 211.org. Okay. And that's also a phone number. You could call 211 right now. And they're a clearinghouse for free stuff, free money. They're a clearinghouse for government programs that help people and for nonprofit organizations that help people. So this is a place you could turn to and say, God, I don't have enough money, or grandma needs to have her sidewalk shoveled. Where can I get that done? 211. They do stuff like that, right? They do. God, I'm getting sued and I need, I'm getting evicted and I need help. Call them. They'll show you nonprofit organizations that help. Now remember, all these things, they sound great. They may or may not work. That's what it is. And how much you get out of it means it depends on a lot of things. One, the person you get on the other end of the phone. Two, how you treat that other person on the phone. And four, how much energy you have to keep looking somewhere else when they say no. That's the key to everything. Some people, they're not there, so you believe the whole world is like that. That's sort of like dating one blonde woman, and they had a lousy experience, and then you say, see, I told you all blondes are stupid. I'm never going to date a blonde again. And so if you call up one of these offices and some bureaucrat treats you mean or lousy or lazy or whatever, if you're saying they're all like that, you're the one that loses, not the government. The government's still going to give out that money. And the same way, if you're saying all blondes are stupid, so you won't date any, you're the one that loses. Yeah, not all the blonde women. They're going to find somebody else. Yeah. So, and that's hard to do, particularly if you're getting beat up. Okay. Now, here's another clearinghouse, and that is elder care. you're looking for what's called the elder care locator. And this, if you have a senior in the house, you have, and not like a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. This is an old fart like me. So if you're taking care of a senior, you're a senior yourself and you're looking for help. You need tax help. You need income. You need somebody to take care of you. You need to choose a long-term care center, anything, you call them. They're located. They're a clearinghouse to find you where locally you could get help to solve that problem. So this is, see, to me, what I love is to try to find organizations, that know a lot, like me. I mean, so I know everything. I've been studying this for 50 years. I'm going to save you a lot of time. You don't even know what to ask for when you go to Google. So that's what these people are, people to help you do that. So you don't, wander around going nowhere. Okay, now the last place I have here is your elected official. Your elected official knows all these problems. If they don't, they have magic numbers they could call to find out the information right away, get your help. And of all the organizations I just gave you, this is the only one that has a real motive to help you. See, the people, when you Google for help on the internet, you're going to get people like me who get money from you, right? So I have a motive to help you because this is the way I'm going to live. So if I don't treat you nice, you're not going to be a client, I won't get money, and I can't live. Okay. So, but the people I gave you, they get paid whether they help you or not. So it's a different relationship. You have to treat them differently because they're going to get paid whether they help you for a month for free or they hang up on you. It doesn't matter to them. And they get the same paycheck. But the elected official, see, they have a motive because you have a vote. How do they keep their job? By getting you to vote for them. How do they get you to vote for them? Not just say they're nice. No, they get you money. It's not their money. They're showing you government money. And they have the best way to get this money because they write the laws that give it away. And then that government bureaucracy, the bureaucrat has to come to the elected official and ask for more. So they want to treat the elected official very nicely because this is how they get their budget. So when you call the elected official, they'll call the office that gives out the money and ask, and they'll get a better answer than you do. See? So if you have trouble with any of these offices, that's how you do it. That's how you play the game. This is why this town is full of sharks, that are talking to congressmen and everything. So they get special attention to get all that money, And so you can do it. Your vote is the same as that person's vote. You're not going to give $1 billion, sure, but you're still a vote. And every vote counts. And that's why this is how they stay in business. And this is why like 90% of all the elected officials get reelected because they do these favors over and over. Their staff is there just to do favors for people in their district. So use them. And there's one more thing, is your local public library. Your reference librarian has solved most of these questions before, and they know sources, particularly local. They're more in tune to what's local than anyone else. So make sure you use your local reference librarian. Go down there in person. They'll help you better in person than on the phone or website or anything, because then you're just a digit and they could flunk you, drop you like a bad habit and not worry about it. But if you're in front of them as a human being, who's needing help and you're serious, then it behooves them. You'll just get more help that way. And you should use it then. The librarians are wonderful. People don't realize that. Everybody thinks they're old and stodgy, but no, they're going to know more about these kinds of local free services than anybody else and be able to point you than anybody else. Don't go to Google and search somewhere. You get some huckster who's going to want to sell you something. Now, these are services that all you've paid for, whether you use them or not. The rich people use the hell out of them. And the rest of us think it's all for somebody else. And not. This is democracy. But we all have the right to use this. Whether you're Donald Trump or you're a street cleaner, you have the same given rights to all these programs and the people who run them. Well, listen, I gotta go to dinner. I didn't know this is gonna take 40 minutes. Okay. I will put the links here, come back a little later, because I gotta run out now. Dinner, just had a grandson and the other grandpa are in town. So we're having dinner together. And we'll just bump elbows and not shake hands and hugs. And but I'll get the link up. So come back, by tomorrow, and I'll have the link up for these sources, so you can get ahead and start knowing, getting the links. But I talked about them. You could figure them out by going back and redoing this thing, and see the sources. But there are what 7 or 8 sources I gave you. I think the best starting places. You can find all that money and more, much more. $60 billion for this virus thing is a drop in a bucket. Well, let me know if I help you more. I help people one-on-one on Lesko Help, or stay tuned on Facebook, or not Facebook. Facebook I don't use a whole lot, except because I'm tied up in Lesko Help. But YouTube, if you don't want to split for the money, YouTube is a good way to follow me. Otherwise, on the Facebook, I give you a website for any problem you have, and a free website. I want to show you where the free information is for anything. You give me a question, I give it. Plus I have a whole bunch of training videos and sources and all that kind of stuff. So talk to you soon. Thanks a lot for being there. And I think I'm happier now in life more than I've ever been. I've done more in life, but now is the most rewarding, because I'm more helping people one-on-one, like Lesko Help, be able to give somebody a website. And I know this stuff so much, and they could solve a problem. Doesn't work all the time. Nothing does, but it's there as a possibility. And that's what we have to know, is the possibilities in life. It's sort of looking for a job. I mean, you don't get one source and that's it. No, you got to knock on a bunch of doors, and I'll show you the doors with the highest possibilities. That's what it boils down to. Talk to you soon. Peace.